a rebuild and need more pieces to help Justin Fields jumpstart the offense. Do you like this, bro?
Look, I like Mark Andrews.
Are you going to do?
It'd be tough. I'm not going to. It'd be tough to see him go. But that play right there makes it easier to see him go. I mean, they win the Super Bowl if it's not for that.
They win the Super Bowl. Give me a
love it.
Yeah.
I'd have been kicking up the Jordans, eating a sandwich up on here. Look, I like this for both teams, actually. Isaiah Likely is clearly ready to assume the role of the top tight end for this team. No question about it. He's probably better than Andrews at this point. Andrews would be a great security blanket for Justin Fields with the Jets. I think he needs a really good tight end because we know his struggles are with throwing the football, but that gives you a security blanket and you can run. I think this would be great for both teams.
So I think right now Mark Andrews is probably a bigger name than he is player. And listen, the 11 touchdowns are 11 touchdowns. He was great in the red zone. Those other numbers, Travis Kelce had 40 more catches and 300 more yards, and we're like, he's probably cooked. Right. And so he was not the dynamic threat that he had been in years past, but he still obviously is a really good red zone threat, and you would think that would translate from to the Jets, even though obviously Justin Fields not nearly the quarterback, not nearly the passer Lamar is. I understand that. I just think that if you're the Ravens, is a future 5th-round pick worth not having Mark Andrews on your roster? Now if it's just you want to clear up your finances, I get it. Yeah. But if you're the Ravens, you are in win now mode. Brew and I disagree on this to a degree. I am not overwhelmed by their receiving core for the 10th straight year. And I think that the departure of Justin Tucker is going, and we saw this last year when they had Tucker and he wasn't very good. I think that they are going to need to be not more explosive offense because they lead the league in points or it was damn near close to it. But they're going to need as many weapons as possible. So if I were the Ravens, I would not trade away Mark Andrews, even though I don't think he is at this point, a top 10 tight end in the league, because I don't know. I'd rather have him and Likely. If something were to happen to Likely, I wouldn't want tight end to go from position.
Likely's better
yeah,
at this point? Yeah,
but I think Mark. I guess if I'm trying to win a Super Bowl, a reliable second tight end is to me more valuable than a 2026 5th or 6th round pick.
Listen, it's very obvious if you're looking to win a Super Bowl this year. If you believe that you have truly a Super Bowl winning team, which I think the Ravens do, you do not trade Mark Andrews. I think it's hilarious that we think that Travis Kelce is gonna ball out and redeem himself in this or that, and yet it's just Mark Andrews, throw him to the curb. Mark Andrews led the NFL of all tight ends with 11 touchdowns. Okay. His receiving grade via PFF was top 4. So, okay, we want to look at receptions. That's fine. You have, like Nick brought up, a Travis Kelce, 110, but he had 149 targets. Okay? Mark Andrews had 62 receptions, but 79 targets. Obviously, we know how the Chiefs team unfolded with some of their injuries and receivers kind of, going in and out of the lineup. So it makes sense someone like Travis Kelce is going to be targeted so much, but his reception percentage was 73.8. Mark Andrews was 78.5. And a significantly yards per reception, 12.3, compared to Travis Kelce, who was 9.1 and who also only had 4 touchdowns. And this is including the playoffs, postseason. So not entirely sure what we're talking about here. I guess, is it because of the total yards? But it's not like it's that bad. Top 8. So he was top 8 in receiving yards, number 1 in touchdowns. he was top 15 in targets, which, quite frankly, if he just had a handful more of targets, he would have been top 10. He was at 79. Top 10 is 86. So it's like, okay. So, I mean, people are so quick to want to, throw him to the Wolves, and it doesn't really make sense. He was top 7 in yards per reception, tied with none other than Isaiah Likely. So, yeah, I mean, is he an absolute devastating game breaker right now? No. Can he absolutely help you and continue to help you win football games at an incredibly high level and important games at that? Yes, he had a bad game. It was unfortunate that it happened. But it happens. Okay? It happens. You don't have to bury him just for the sake of it. Especially when you look at other tight ends who are obviously still very well received. Kittle, Ertz, Travis Kelce, of course, Brock Bowers. And he's all within there with them. And this is with a team that ran the ball like no one's business. I think second to only the Philadelphia Eagles. You obviously have Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and yet he was still top in all of these categories. That means something. Big time to me. In a team that has a lot of weapons, a lot of receivers, another tight end, a beast of a running back, a beast of a quarterback who also uses his legs, obviously, and yet you still have a tight end that's getting his. That speaks to a lot. That speaks to his fit with this team, and that speaks to his fit and his chemistry with your quarterback, which is incredibly important. So long-term play, would it be smart if you can get like a decent trade for him? Sure. And if you need to clear rooms on the books, like I'm not gonna act like I'm a salary cap wizard. They literally pay people specifically just to work that out. I'm not gonna pretend like I can magic say, well, it saves $3 million and this, that. Like I don't know, man. You guys can debate that if you want. But they literally pay people hundreds of thousands of dollars to just crunch those numbers. So I'm certainly not going to do it right here. But I mean, the guy can still obviously play. And you know what? We can talk about some of these other guys. We can talk about some of these other wide tight ends where Nick's like, he's not a top 10 or this or that. This is going to be funny to say considering what just happened, a few months ago. But what just happened in the last playoff game, in an important game, and you're going up against Kansas City Chiefs, you're going up against Buffalo Bills, you're in the Super Bowl going up against whoever, I want Mark Andrews there. I just feel better knowing that I got Mark Andrews there. That I got an absolute high level, high IQ, high class, someone who I don't have to question, is he going to be prepared for this moment? Is he going to shrink in this moment? He made what I always refer to as it's just an error. He just dropped the ball. Same thing in baseball. You just, a ball, you can easily catch it, but you don't, it just hits your glove. It's literally technically called an error. It's just an error. It wasn't a lapse of judgment. It wasn't an inferior talent. It was just an error. It just happened. Sometimes you drop a ball. Devontae, granted this wasn't in the playoffs, but it was, it was in the regular season against the Washington Commanders. The ball hit him right in the hands. He just dropped it. And they asked him, if you caught that ball, you would have won the game. Like, what do you think about it? And he was just like, just happens, man. Nothing I could do about it. It's just one of those things. I'm not gonna let it sink me. And lo and behold, the dude catches one of the most beautiful passes in the Super Bowl. So it just is what it is. It just happens. We don't have to jump on it to make it this big gigantic thing. And although maybe Mark Andrews isn't necessarily used from a production standpoint as a top 10 receiver, although I'd argue even so statistically clearly, and it's not like I would look at the Baltimore Ravens as a team that they just like their players get juiced up stats here. I don't think that's the case. I think the stats, especially in this situation, tell a pretty clear story. I don't know why you would want to move on from that. Even if Likely clearly becomes above and beyond. It's just you having more weapons is better than not. That's just an obvious. And having the depth and the resilience to being banged up in injuries goes an incredibly long way. For me, I'm looking at the Baltimore Ravens and I'm just like, win the Super Bowl already, man. Get to the Super Bowl already. Like it's time. Get on with it. I'm not looking to draft a player next year and hoping that by year 2 or 3, he'll be a big impact player. Because now let's say you do get like a 5th round pick, and let's say you hit a home run with that 5th round pick. He's realistically truly not going to help you win for another couple years. It's like, are you serious? It's like, we don't got time for that right now. Got no time for that. So I don't think we need to downplay what Mark Andrews does for this team. And it's just like, Nick's like, well, 11 touchdowns is not nothing, but like only 62 receptions and we're ready to bury, Travis Kelce. And it's like, dude, those are different conversations and different teams, and they're asked to do different things. I mean, doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, honestly. Especially when you're like, yeah, well, Kelsey's dropped more balls, gets less touchdowns, less yards per reception. I mean, he got the ball thrown to him 149 times, the most in the NFL, and he couldn't even break 1,000. The 2 guys that got over 130 plus, they both broke 1,000. I mean, kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about trading Mark Andrews? Do you like the idea for this? Sounds like it would be more of a win for New York than for Baltimore. But let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.